Picture the last donation appeal that actually made you stop and give. I will bet it did not open with a mission statement or a list of achievements. It opened with a person or a moment that you could see. Most charity appeals fall flat not because the cause is weak, but because the writing keeps the reader at arm's length, talking about the organization and burying the request. In the next few minutes, we will look at how to write a donation appeal that genuinely moves someone to give, the kind of copy that turns a quiet reader into a supporter, without pressure, guilt, or hype. One honest note before we start: this channel is educational only. I am not affiliated with or endorsed by Google, Meta, or any platform, payment provider, or grant program, and nothing here is an official partnership. Nothing in this video is legal, tax, or fundraising compliance advice. And because platform rules and fundraising laws change over time and differ from place to place, please treat everything here as background and always verify the current details with the official source before you rely on it. One more promise I will keep throughout: no approach to writing can guarantee donations or any particular result, because giving depends on your cause, your audience, and timing you do not control. What good copy can do is give your appeal its best possible chance to be read, understood, and acted on. Start with one person, not your logo. Here is the first and biggest shift. An appeal that converts opens with one person or one real moment, not with your organization. Most appeals begin with a charity clearing its throat. For 20 years, we have been committed to serving the community. It is true, and the reader has already glazed over. Nobody gives to an introductions, so open on a face instead. A boy who has not eaten since yesterday's lunch. A grandmother choosing between heating and medicine. Drop the reader straight into a single scene they can picture, told plainly and honestly. You can bring in your organization later, as the bridge that lets them help, not the hero of the story. The opening line has one job: to make a stranger keep reading. A specific human being does that. A logo and a history never will. Make the problem specific and human. Once you have your person, resist the pull toward the general. Charities love to widen out. Millions are affected. Need is rising across the region. Those sentences feel important, and they move almost no one, because the mind cannot picture a million anything. Stay with the one situation and make it concrete. Not a family facing hardship, but a mother who walks 2 hours before dawn so her daughter can reach the only clinic for miles. Not food insecurity, but a fridge holding nothing except a half carton of milk. Use real names where you have permission, real places, and the small true detail that proves this actually happens. Specifics also keep you honest, because you can only be specific about things that are real. You are not dramatizing, and you are never inventing. You are simply showing the reader one true thing clearly enough to feel it. Connect the gift to a concrete outcome. Now bridge from the problem to the reader's power to change it and make that power tangible. A donation in the abstract feels like money slipping into a void. A donation tied to a concrete outcome feels like buying a specific, visible result. So translate the gift into what it does. $40 fills that empty fridge for a week. $15 puts a warm blanket on one bed tonight. $100 keeps the clinic van running for a day. When someone can see exactly what their gift produces, the decision gets far easier. Use real figures that reflect your true costs and never inflate them, because a donor who later feels misled is a donor lost for good. If you cannot pin a number to an outcome, describe the result in plain words instead. The goal is the same: to let the reader see the good their particular gift will do. Make one clear ask once. Here is where many appeals quietly fall apart. They ask for everything, or they never quite ask at all. They offer 5 giving levels, a volunteer form, a newsletter sign-up, and a link to the annual report. And the reader, faced with all of it, does nothing. A confused reader does not give. So make one clear ask once and point it at a single obvious action. Decide the single most important thing you want and ask for exactly that. Give today so this child eats this week. Then make the way to act impossible to miss. One bright, well-labeled button or one plain link, not a path the reader has to hunt for. You can mention it more than once, near the top for the skimmer and again at the end. But it should always be the same ask. One appeal, one ask, one action. Clarity is not pushy. It is a kindness to a busy reader who genuinely wants to help. Earn the open, then test it. None of this matters if no one opens the message, which is why the subject line or headline is the hardest working handful of words you will write. Its only job is to earn the open, honestly. Be specific and human rather than vague or breathless. A line like a warm bed for Maria tonight will usually beat our winter appeal is here, because it hints at the real person and the real moment. Avoid fake alarm, shouting capitals and empty teasers, because tricking someone into opening only spends the trust you need for the ask inside. And here is a quiet habit worth building. Test your subject lines. Many email tools let you send two versions to a small slice of your list, see which earns more opens, and send the winner to everyone else. Change one thing at a time so you learn what actually moved the number. Small, honest tests, repeated over months, teach you more than any expert's rule of thumb. Create honest urgency, not guilt. People put off giving the same way they put off everything, so a good appeal offers an honest reason to act now. The key word is honest. Real urgency comes from something true. A matching gift that doubles donations until Friday. A place at a shelter that is filling up tonight. Name the real deadline or the real moment and let it do the work. What you must never do is manufacture panic or lean on guilt. Fear-mongering, shame, and invented countdowns can squeeze out the gift once, but they teach people that opening your appeals feels awful, and those people quietly leave. Urgency should feel like a genuine invitation to act while acting still matters, not like a threat. If there is no real deadline, do not fake one. You can still create a gentle now by showing that the need is present and immediate, a bed that is cold tonight rather than a vague someday. Keep it short and skimmable, with a PS. Almost no one reads an appeal word for word. They skim on a phone in a spare 30 seconds, so write for the skimmer. Keep it short. Use brief paragraphs, plenty of white space, and sentences a tired reader can absorb at a glance. Put the most important line, the person and the ask, where a skimming eye will land, near the top and near the end. Emphasize one key phrase if it helps, but only one, because when everything is emphasized, nothing is. And do not skip the PS. In a letter or an email, the postscript is one of the most read lines of all. So use it to repeat your ask in one warm sentence with the outcome attached. Something like, your gift of $40 fills an empty fridge this week. Thank you. A reader who absorbs nothing but your opening line and your PS should still know who needs help, what their gift does, and exactly how to give. A vague appeal rewritten. Let us make this concrete with a quick before and after. Here is a typical vague appeal. This holiday season, help us continue our vital mission of supporting vulnerable members of the community through your generous contribution. It sounds respectable and it says almost nothing. There is no person, no specific need, no clear outcome, and no real ask. Now the rewrite. This morning, 7-year-old Amir came to our door with no coat and no breakfast. $40 gives him a warm meal every day this week. Will you feed him today? Notice what changed. A real child instead of vulnerable members. A concrete outcome instead of a vital mission. A single, plain ask instead of a generous contribution. Same cause, same truth, an utterly different pool. You do not need clever words to make this leap. You need a real person, a specific need, a clear outcome, and one honest ask. Anytime an appeal feels flat, run it through that test and watch where the mission speak has crept back in. Thank, then show the impact. The appeal does not end when the gift arrives. What you do next decides how your next appeal lands. So thank people quickly and warmly, ideally the moment they give, and make the thank you about them and the difference they just made, not about your organization. Then, weeks later, close the loop. Show what the gift did. The fridge that is full. Maria in her warm bed. The clinic van back on the road. When donors see the concrete outcome you promised actually happen, two things follow. They trust your next appeal because you kept your word, and they feel the quiet pride of having made something real. That is what makes your following ask easier. Not a cleverer subject line, but a track record of honest results shown back to the people who paid for them. Fundraising is a relationship, not a single transaction. Thank well, report back honestly, and each appeal you write stands on the trust the last one earned. Quick recap. Let us pull it together. Open on one real person or moment, not your organization. Keep the problem specific and human rather than large and abstract. Connect the gift to a concrete outcome so the reader can see what their money does. Make one clear ask once, pointed at a single obvious action. Write a subject line that earns the open honestly and test it in small ways over time. Create urgency only from something true, never from guilt or invented panic. Keep the whole thing short and skimmable, and add a PS that repeats the ask. When an appeal feels flat, rewrite the vague mission speak into a real person and one honest ask. And afterwards, thank quickly and show the impact so your next appeal rests on proven trust. Remember what an appeal really is. It is not a demand and it is not a trick. It is an honest invitation to a reader who might genuinely want to help, offered clearly enough that they can. Write to one person, show them one true situation, tell them exactly what their gift will do, and ask once kindly. None of this promises a particular result, and no honest person can guarantee donations, because too much sits outside your control. So keep verifying the current rules and figures with the official source before you send. But copy this clear and this honest gives your cause its best possible chance, and it treats both your donors and the people you serve with the respect they deserve. If this gave you a clearer way to write your next appeal, subscribe for practical charity marketing you can actually use, and I will keep turning it into plain doable steps, one video at a time.